Hey everyone, this is Helena Hart, and I'm here with my very good friend and fellow coach, Adrienne Everheart today. In this video, we're going to be sharing 5 things you can say to a man if he's acting a little distant or pulling away or withdrawing. These 5 things are going to get him hooked on you and get his energy coming back towards you again. So welcome, Adrienne. Thank you so much for talking with me again today.
Hi, Helena. It's so great to be back on your channel. I cannot wait to share these 5 very common things that can happen to any woman at any time in which that man begins to lose interest, pull away. We're going to teach you exactly what to say and do, and this is all based in wonderful feminine energy. So I'm so excited to get started.
Yes, for those of you who aren't familiar with Adrienne, she is the author of 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, the ABCs to Get Him Back, and Femme Tools for Dating and Relationships. She's also the co-creator of 2 programs that I did with her, right? Heartbroken to Happily Ever After and Find and Keep the One Without Coming Undone. So I'll include links to everything in the description right below this video. We're so excited to share these 5 scripts with you today. And I know you're the perfect person to be talking about this. You're just a genius and expert at what to say to a man. So let's just jump right in. What's the first situation in which a woman would need one of these scripts? I know we're going to be talking about 5 different situations or scenarios where a man might pull away or start acting distant.
Yeah, so just to give a quick overview, sometimes a man pulls away when things are going great. Like everything's going great, you completely don't understand, he pulls away. Another time when a man pulls away is when the relationship or the dating, you kind of hit that first big bump, and we've all been there. You have that first little argument or something goes wrong. And there are other times, the third time is when you're experiencing real trouble, like something really happened. You have, a big fight, or you might have a pregnancy scare or something like this, or his ex-wife or kids, some sort of drama happens. That's real trouble. The other one is going to be about asking for commitment, because we all reach this place where we're like, are we dating? Are we in committed relationship? Are we getting engaged? Are we going to get married? I mean, there's so many levels of commitment. We're going to talk about that one. And we're also going to talk about if you're spending a lot of time together, if you've gone away for a long trip or something like that, and you get back and he pulls away. So do you want me to start with the one about if things are just going really good, going really great, and then all of a sudden, why is he pulling away?
I hear about that all the time. I see it in the comment sections of some of my videos here on YouTube. Women say they just feel blindsided and say things like, things were going great and he just pulled away or disappeared. I don't know if he's ghosting me. What can I do or say to figure out what's going on or get his energy coming back towards me? So yes, let's start with that one.
Yeah, because a lot of times things are going great. You're dating regularly, you're having a wonderful time together, and then you just suddenly that morning happens and you don't get that good morning text, you don't get that good afternoon text. And most women go into their masculine energy. They begin calling their girlfriends, they begin scanning his social media, they start doing all of these things that actually are pushing their energy onto the man. And this is one of the worst things you can do, is that you begin to obsess about what has happened. Now, I understand it is perfectly normal to go, what happened? Everything was going so great. Like, where has this trailed off? What did I say? What did I do? We want to blame ourselves. But I really want you to just peel your energy off the man. Understand that when a guy pulls away when things are going good, it can be a very, very good sign. Often men need a little bit of time to like recharge. They're getting to know you. They like you. They might be getting like a little bit scared, and they're possibly losing some of their connections with their friends and family because they're developing a new relationship. So just go ahead and just give him that time to back away. It could very much mean he's falling in love with you.
So true. And we do want to mention right off the bat, we are not making excuses for men here, right? We know what everyone's going to say. I mean, if a man is constantly pulling away, if you're here and you're available and you're showing interest and he's constantly like backing off or getting distant every time you guys get too close, right? Just drop that guy and move on. We certainly don't want you to engage with a man like that or be available for that kind of energy. But this is for, normal situations where the guy seems interested. He's been doing everything right. His energy's been coming towards you. And then it's a day or two where you don't hear from him. And of course, we start to panic, right? We start to blame
Sure.
ourselves and beat ourselves up. So, in general, if he's a good guy, we would say, don't panic. Go with these tools and use the script Adrienne is about to tell. I'm actually really excited to hear this myself. What do you have for us,
Well, I
Adrienne?
mean, my most favorite one is actually do nothing, but just peel your energy off the guy. You and I talk about that sometimes, how sometimes just doing nothing is the thing to actually say or do. But if things have been going really great, you've been seeing each other a couple of nights a week, and it's been a day or two without him, I love the text message you can send to him, which is a dot, 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 a little smile, and then a question mark, a smile emoji, then a question mark. Just a way to say like dot, 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 hey, I'm here, instead of getting confrontational or worrisome or driving past his house or looking up on social media. Just send out a nice little text. And just, you have the right to kind of do that. You've invested time with this man too. But I want it to stop right there. I don't want you to treat it like a mystery you need to solve. Remember, if this man is really into you, loves you, wants to be with you, he will stop at nothing to be with you. But send that little dot, dot, dot emoji, then question mark, just to let him know you're around. Some people feel like even that is leaning too forward.
Mm-hmm.
But again, it is your right to do this if you want to.
Yeah, absolutely. Do it once, right? I love what you said. Don't keep doing that. Don't make it a style or a way to have a conversation with him over text, right? It's just,
Right?
again, if you're not attached to the outcome or the result, you can do whatever you want, right? If you truly don't care whether or not you hear from him again after that, then why not go for it if you want to, right? If you feel like this guy is worthwhile and, if this, potential relationship would be a good use of your time. If he's shown you before that things were going well, he was moving things forward. So I love that one,
Yeah. He
Adrienne.
may genuinely be curious if you are invested in the relationship.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes guys test us like that.
Absolutely.
So
Yeah.
the next one is going to be about hitting that first bump, and it kind of coincides with things going great because when you hit that first bump, your emotions are going to be kind of riding high, and you're very likely to want to get into that masculine energy space, call him, text him, hunt him down, solve it immediately, right now, tonight. And really, for a lot of men, when you guys have that first big, conflict or whatever, is that the illusion gets shattered that all relationships are meant to be perfect or wonderful. And so everyone has like this little moment where they're just kind of growing up for a second, and they're saying, I understand relationships aren't perfect and we're going to hit bumps in the road. Things like this are going to happen to us, and how you cope with it, how you deal with it, that is the key to getting over that if he pulls away after that first bump in a road.
So true. I love that. I imagine this one would be a lot. Well, with a lot of these, it's kind of what you don't say as well. But any tips on what to do if you're in that situation? I hear from women all the time that say, well, what if we got in a fight or an argument? What if I need to apologize? Is it okay to lean forward and do that? And it can be hard to know what to do and what not to do in that situation. So any tips you want to share around that, I know would be so helpful.
For sure. So I am all for apologizing if you have really, really done something wrong. Now, he maybe has done something wrong too. So if you send that apology with the expectation, like, why isn't he apologizing to me too? Prepare for disappointment.
Mm-hmm.
Prepare to not feel better about doing that. But when you become that bigger person and you're able to say, Friday night, I just felt I was so emotional. And this is not an excuse, but I feel horrible about what happened. And I am so, so sorry if I said anything to hurt your feelings. And just leave it at that. Maybe send a little heart emoji if it's over text. But if it's just you're able to talk to him for a minute, just say short and sweet, I just real quick here, I'm really sorry. I feel terrible about what happened the other night, and it would feel so wonderful if we could fix this, and then leave it at that. Leave it at that, because so often men, I have found more and more, they kind of need to pout. They kind of need to get over it a little bit. And I always tell women, I'm like, if you're looking for a guy to have a perfectly mature response all the time, again, prepare for disappointment. Men do not always respond the way that we believe that they should, or that a person should respond. And so just give him that time to transition from being a boy to a man, which can happen throughout the entire course of the relationship. We are all practicing to be adults all the time.
Mhm.
So no one is perfect. Give him that time to find his maturity. He may be a little weird about apologizing himself. What matters is you can apologize, you can be the bigger person, and you can go to bed at night knowing you've said exactly how you feel. Don't lay it on too thick. Don't keep going. No expectations. And this will absolutely get him to chase you back because he'll feel safe and comfortable with what's happened.
I think that's so important. I just want to reiterate for everyone, just to clarify, this is if you've had an argument or a fight and you feel the need to apologize, right? If a guy just
Right.
pulls away, you don't want to lean forward and go, hey, so, I was acting really needy, or, make up stuff in your mind about what it could have been, and then lean forward and explain yourself and apologize. We've all been there, myself
Yeah.
included, right? So this
Yeah.
is if you actually did have an argument or a fight. I love what you said. Keep it short and sweet. Let him know you're there when he wants to talk, and then give him space after that, right? You just want to
Yeah, and apologize once.
one time.
Apologize once. Do not grovel. Do
Mhm.
not continue to beg for forgiveness. Apologize once. Move on with your hot, rich, fabulous life.
Perfect. I love that. Yeah. All right. What's the next situation that you found that women tend to find themselves in and they don't know what to say?
For sure. Well, we're going to talk about asking for commitment because we all reach this phase in the relationship where we're dating, but dating means no one owes anyone anything. And then there's commitment, which means we are exclusively dating. We are exclusively being sexual. And I have scripts for all of that in my ebook, 500 Ways to Talk to a Man, and Fem Tools for Dating, because that is a very difficult thing to navigate. A lot of women feel like, oh, I'm dating a guy. I just date one at a time and I'm true blue until I find out what happens with him. And then boom, years of your life have gone by
Mhm.
and you've got nothing, you're not even engaged. We don't want that to happen to you. We want you to set the pacing. We want you to be in your feminine energy and receiving by keeping your options open. So when it comes time for commitment, whether that's we've been engaged for 5 years or, are we ever going to become exclusive after dating? This can cause a guy to pull away. You bring that up and you let him know. One of my favorite, phrases is, where do you see us going? I'm curious. The past few weeks dating or the past 3 months dating has felt amazing. It feels so good to be together. But where do you see us going? Just asking that will immediately scare a guy. Wouldn't you agree, Helena?
Usually. Yeah. I mean, so if a guy is right there with you and he's ready to take you into forever, probably not. But if you're asking this question, the woman's probably gotten the sense that
Yeah.
bringing up the commitment talk is going to scare him away, or already has scared him away. Right. So yeah, we hear from a lot of women in that situation.
Yeah. So again, this is almost about like what not to do because that man has got to figure it out. He has to understand that if he doesn't come forward and claim you, and if he doesn't decide to do this, he may lose you. And that's where you really want that energy. This is not a game you play with a man. This is not something you do to get him to commit to you. This is something where, I'm really investing in this person. I've caught feelings and I'm still quantum dating. I've got my quantum dating 5, but it has been really great with this one guy. Where do you see us going? So I remember at the point where I asked this to Jeff and I said, well, it's felt amazing the past few weeks. I was like, so I don't know. I mean, are we exclusive? And he goes, oh, absolutely. Absolutely we are. He goes, no, I'm seeing this through. And I said, well, I want to be a wife someday. He goes, noted, noted. And you get that sort of like, positive affirmation. Maybe you can speak from experience yourself, Helena.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. For the time of recording this video, actually, Tom proposed to me yesterday. Hasn't even been 24 hours. So absolutely. He was one of those guys where he was right there. You talk about commitment. He was there. He was, he was moving things forward. But, I met him after going through years or even decades of, relationship history that wasn't all that easy, right? So I kind of started off on the right foot with him, and it made things real easy and effortless. But of course, I've been in situations where you don't know where you stand with a guy, and you start to feel anxious or insecure, or you wonder if he's dating other women. And we hear from women all the time who just don't know where things are going. So yes,
Yeah.
but can you just repeat that one time for everyone, exactly what to say? That would be so helpful.
Well, for sure. So what I really want a woman to do is stand your boundary.
Mm.
Stand your boundary. If you want to be a wife, I want to be a wife someday. It is a-okay, perfectly okay to say that. You're not saying, I really thought I was going to marry you one day. We don't want you saying that. We want you to be in this place of like, well, I want to be a wife one day. And it's felt really amazing dating you. And I'm just curious where you see us going. So that's one scenario. I have several other scenarios in my ebook, 500 Ways and in Fem Tools, because again, it is difficult to navigate. I've got a lot of if-then scenarios, But if you've been dating for a little while, you can just say, this has felt amazing. Where do you see us going?
Mm-hmm.
And you're able to put that out there. And if the guy's like, well, I don't know, are you asking me to marry you? Is that what you're saying? They might try to make a joke or something. And I want you to just roll with it and go, oh my goodness, that's so sweet. I'm just really curious where you see us going. Hold your ground. It's entirely up to you how often you date. If you continue to date him, maybe you date him a little less if he's not committing. And then also a big one is sexual exclusivity.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, so many women just fall into this natural feeling of commitment when we are just sexually exclusive. We believe to be sexually exclusive. So these are things to all understand, that when you get that clarity and you're going to a man and you're letting him know, I am a high value, high quality woman. I want to know where I'm going. I want to know what we're doing. He's very likely to pull away, or at least act a little bit strange. And I want you to just ride it out. I want you to keep holding onto your boundaries. You can keep dating him for a little while, or if you're engaged and not married, you can stay engaged for a little bit while, but carry that energy with you that I don't know how I feel about this. I'm not sure how I feel about that. I want to be a wife someday. And then maybe about every 2 weeks, revisit that, have that quick conversation with him to, again, here's where I stand. Now, I hear from women all the time who've been engaged for like 5 years and they're not married yet. They too have to say the same script I'm telling you. And it usually means walking away. It usually means walking away for a while, and then the guy goes crazy and he comes back and claims you. I mean, as you know, that happened with Jeff and myself.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah, I was there for all of
You
that.
know.
I know so many women resonate with your story where, they're like, we've had it wasn't so easy at the beginning. We had to find our footing and there were a couple breakups, right? So yeah, love that. So important. And what I like about this is you're just super direct and super straightforward. You're not beating around the bush. You feel confident enough to put your standards out there and your boundaries. And you don't have to like walk on eggshells. In fact, that's the last thing you want to do. Something I always say is if you're feeling really confident and you are truly willing to walk away, if this guy isn't going to be able to give you what you want in a relationship, you can say anything, just like the text we shared at the beginning of this video. So you want to feel confident. You want to know for sure that you're going to be okay no matter what happens with this guy, right? Super
Yeah, you do not
important.
want to force or coerce anybody to love you and claim you.
Yeah. You can't do that anyway. It doesn't work anyway, right?
It doesn't work anyway. And, I do believe if you're over 40, things are more complicated. I do believe it will 9 times out of 10 involve walking away with commitment.
Wow.
I really do. And Helena, I think I could possibly link to a really popular blog I have about that. About why walking away works, and maybe we'll include that in the video in the link below. Very important to read and understand.
Oh yeah, I'll just include that in the description as well. So just click the title of this video. It'll open up the description, and all the links to our programs, to your ebook, and to that blog post will all be just right underneath this video. So yeah, what's the next scenario you want to share with everyone, Adrienne?
So the next one is, if you two have spent a lot of time together, it never fails. I hear from someone from Heart Love Academy, or they email me, and I know this has happened to you a lot, Helena, and they say, we just got back from the Bahamas. We had a wonderful trip together. Why haven't I heard from him in 5 days? We hear this all the time. Or we had a wonderful weekend together and now I haven't heard anything from him. So I believe a couple of things are happening. Definitely he could be getting a little bit like catching feelings, which scares a guy. and they pull away for a little while, this is a normal human reaction to have happen. Don't punish the man because he's a human. All right. It's a very normal thing. Another thing is just, the biological nature of pulling away is a man needs to recharge. If a man is around a woman, whether it's pheromones or just something about our energy, their testosterone values actually go down. Now, I'm not making this up. This has been scientifically proven with lab tests and blood tests that a man's testosterone levels plummet, and a man doesn't feel good when he's a little low on testosterone or he feels that shift. So ladies, you know how you feel when your hormones make a little bit of a shift, and just imagine what the guy feels like. They can get grumpy and irritable and angry, and they can't process their emotions necessarily like we do. And so they'll end up kind of like taking it out on you, or they'll just storm off or disappear for a little bit. Let him do it. He's got to go charge. Support him to go recharge. So whenever I can, I tell Jeff, he says, I might go hang out with my friends tonight. I'm like, oh, go do it. Go have a great time. You really want to support that time away from you so they can have that wonderful masculine energy recharge. Doesn't that sound like a fun girls' night to you, Helena?
Love it. I think that's great. It's like giving him space before he needs it or has to just take it on his own, right? And it's so true. I've really found I have a lot of male friends who are some of them are single and dating, and they say things like when they're men who are conscious of this sort of thing, other coaches and stuff, they say when their testosterone levels drop, and I believe this happens after having sex too. So if you spent a great weekend or a trip with a guy, the two of you were really close and connected, maybe sleeping together, the testosterone level drops, and then they kind of lose motivation. They don't have that motivation to get in touch, right? That has to build back up a little bit incrementally over time. And then, half a day, 2 days later, he's going to come back in and be a better partner to you, hopefully, than he would if he had just hung around you and didn't take that space for himself.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, exactly. And for you ladies, like side note, if any of you ladies are struggling with a partner who has like a porn addiction or anything like that, that's part of it. It's part of that low willpower and that low desire to change. And don't worry, when you get activated in your feminine energy, when you start doing these very subtle things that Helena and I teach you, you will begin to see change. Sometimes it happens very slowly, but it happens. And so this is where we just want you to be aware. Wonderful thing about being a feminine energy feeling woman, you can be very conscious and very aware of what's going on. Instead of getting that urgency to be in your masculine energy, get involved, make things happen, solve it, fix it now. This is not a 30-minute sitcom where there's a nice ending, there's a nice bow and tied up ending. You really have to let things unfold with a man. And so often men need time and they need to move very slowly.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, we're not making excuses for men here. If a man is, you have to find your sweet spot that works for you. Some men, maybe if his love language is quality time, loves to spend that time with you. And when he's stressed, he wants to be with you. That's phenomenal, right? Not every guy's like that. You have to find what works for you, right? So if a guy is constantly backing off and pulling away in a way that doesn't feel good, and even after you express some of these things, he keeps doing it, he doesn't take your feelings and needs into account, or he doesn't come back even stronger than before, you might have to ask yourself if this is the right man or relationship for you, right? So you want to have those really high standards, high values for yourself, and just feel comfortable expressing some of these things, right?
Yeah, and remember, it's not about finding perfection.
Right.
No relationship is going to be perfect all the time, and you are not going to be perfect all the time. And if you want a man to roll with you on your bad days, when you're stressed out, when you're having a moment, you got to be ready to roll with him. It's just going to be different. It's going to look different than what your bad day looks like. Yeah. So, no marriage, no relationship is conflict free. This is part of life. We have to take the good with the bad. And this is where these wonderful feminine energy coping skills that Helena and I teach you. In fact, one of my favorite ones is in our book, is in our program. I think it's Find and Keep the One, where we actually talk about personas, and we talk about these different identities we can have and expectations we put on a relationship. And the really wonderful thing about feminine energy is that it's really about pulling your focus off of the man and expectations and outcomes, and really being more focused on yourself, your breathing, how you're treating yourself. And that is absolutely what calls that man towards you. Is that not true, Helena?
So true. It's so true. I mean, we're living examples of this. This stuff just works. And,
Right.
you know, for everyone watching, we'd love to hear from you guys. Let us know down below in the comment section. Maybe try one of these out and see what happens. And just know that if you state a boundary or a standard or something and a man drifts away, you want that to happen. You want the wrong men to fade away. So this gives you your best shot of reattracting this man and getting things on track, or letting him fade out so a new, better match for you can come forward, right? That's feminine energy.
Yeah. And all of these men are practice. They're all practice. And again, if you're over 40, in my opinion, 9 times out of 10, the guy has to walk away to really get serious about claiming you. I hate it, but it's just, in my experience, it has just been so true with all my coaching clients.
We might have to do a whole nother video just on that sometime, because that is really interesting. I've never heard another expert say anything like that before. So I'm really curious. Let us know down below in the comments if you'd like a video on that, or really anything else. We love recording these videos together. Adrienne, do you want to recap these, or did we get to all of them? I was so lost.
I would love to. I kind of put 2 together, but I'll recap them really quick. So the first one is when he pulls away when things are going just great. Now, this can sometimes be a really good sign. It means that he's kind of in love with you. He needs some time to process what is happening to me. And he might feel a little scared. So when things are going great, we just want to give him that time, give him that space. You can always send a little text emoji, ... emoji, smiley, question mark, and just let it unfold. Let the man show you what he can or cannot do. The other one is when you hit your first little bump. For Jeff and I, it was an argument in a parking lot over parking. And, you know, I really got that first little taste of what triggers him and what sets him off. And there's always this part of you that wants to judge the person that says, well, you shouldn't get mad about that. And that first little bump, that first little trigger, this is where you want to just be really soft and understanding with each other. And that illusion of perfection gets shattered. Be understanding, be his friend, be teammates. Show that the two of you can get over bumps like that, because life is full of bumps like that, right?
Oh, yeah.
And the next one is when you experience real trouble. This could be something like a pregnancy scare. Your ex-husband comes and knocks on the door, or his kids are calling. You know, we don't know. It could be any sort of a drama or argument. We want you to really resist trying to fix it. We want you to back off. And if you have messed up and you have said or done something that you do not feel good about, we want you to apologize sincerely, with no expectations, and then let the man again show you what he can do. And remember, men sometimes process apologies and actually apologizing to a woman much different than the way we do it. So do not expect him to, you know, be like what you see on, you know, Netflix or some television sitcom. It just usually doesn't work that way with a man, and I think most of you know that. The next one is about asking for commitment, whether that's, you know, dating and going to commitment, sexual exclusivity, wondering if the two of you are ever going to get engaged, or if you're engaged, you're going to get married. You know, you talk about something like this and it'll really let the man know, I'm a high value woman. I really care about what's happening to me, how I'm spending my time in my life. A good one for that is, where do you see us going? This has felt wonderful, and I'm just curious, where do you see this going? One of my favorite scripts is saying, well, yeah, I really want to be a wife someday. I do want to get married. If you're engaged, you can say something like, the past year together has felt amazing, and I feel so honored to be wearing this ring on my finger, yet I'm really curious, when are we going to set the date? When is that going to feel right for us? And you want to open up dialogue about that, okay? And definitely read my blog about walking away. And the next one is about, we've spent a lot of time together. It's been great time, but then you get back home and he packs his bag and has to head back to his apartment or whatever. Don't take it personally. In fact, if you spent time together, make sure you have like a little room you can go into in your house, or go for a walk, or go shopping with a girlfriend, or get some time alone, let his masculine energy recharge. And by all means, encourage him to recharge his masculine energy so that he will feel supported in doing what a man really needs to do, which is take a break, recharge their testosterone. That is what a man needs to feel good. So ladies, support him on that.
Mm-hmm. Wow, you are just on fire today. That was phenomenal. Everyone, just rewind those last couple minutes and take notes. Watch this video and take notes. Let us know how these go for you. That was so great. So I'm going to include links to everything. Are we still bundling our 2 programs together on sale right now?
Yes. In fact, you get these 2 programs that you and I did. It was a class full of women, lots of Q&A. You get a VIP library full of items from myself and Helena that you cannot purchase anywhere. It's only when you get our programs. And that program, the 2 put together, it's really everything you need to know. So even if you're married and you're not dating, I tell everyone, I actually want you to date your husband. I want you to feel like you're dating him for forever. So review everything in there. It's not just one topic for one particular thing, but I think a lot of repetition in that program, you learn it all. It's a really comprehensive program.
Yeah, Dating Unzipped, the complete collection. Get those 2 programs together at a very special bundle price for a limited time. So glad we're still offering that. We get some amazing feedback every week from women who go through those courses, right? I'll include links to your ebook, your blog post, everything's just in the description. Click the title of this video and go check all of those resources out. This was amazing, Adrienne. Thank you so much. If you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to give it a like, leave us a comment down below, give us some topic suggestions. We love recording videos together. I could bring you on for a live stream, or just, we'd love to hear from you guys. What specifically would be helpful for you in a future video with the 2 of us? Because I know, Adrienne, you're a total favorite here on my channel. So this was amazing. Thank you so much again. And hopefully we can do this again very soon.
Well, Helena, thank you for having me. And again, congratulations on your engagement. You are just beaming and just beautiful. And girls, in the comments, if you feel the same way, let her know how beautiful she looks right now.
So sweet. All right. We love you guys so much. Can't wait to hear from you. And we will see you again very soon.
Bye-bye.